Good morning. Peace and blessings. Happy Sunday. Sunday is the day that the sun governs, and the sun is currently at the eighth degree of Scorpio. The eighth degree is the degree of goodness. And in Scorpio, because we are outside of the full moon in Aries, and we're moving to the full moon, to the new moon in Scorpio, this new moon in Scorpio, the new moons are always about beginnings or what your intention is. It's like the opportunity, because it's at the dark time of the moon, it's like the opportunity to get pregnant with a new idea, with it's the opportunity to cultivate the feminine energy within you around this Scorpio perspective, or Scorpio energy, or Scorpio archetype. The Scorpio archetype is the energy of transformation. It's the energy of death. It's also our heritage, like things we inherit from our families. And so that's why, as we are moving into what we call Halloween in the West, but it's All Hallows Eve, is this opportunity to connect to the other dimensions, to the other side, to the ancestors, to tap into consciousness in a deeper way, to tap into the aspects that we don't often have available to us with Scorpio. And Scorpio, like I said, it's the ancestors, it's your sexuality, it's your ability to transform, it's your power, right? And because we are in, like I said, on the other side of this Aries full moon, we had all this new energy come in, because full moons are fulfillments. Full moons bring in the energy, they bring in the power, and they bring it in accordance to what you were focusing on 6 months ago. Right? So we had a new moon in Aries 6 months ago. Then we have a full moon in Aries a couple of weeks ago, but it's 6 months later. So that's an entire cycle. So right now we're about to have a new moon in Scorpio, and then 6 months from now we'll have a full moon in Scorpio. So the work is to really get yourself pregnant with this, with how you want to move forward with this Scorpio energy for the next year or so, right? Like, what are you up to? So for me personally, I've been doing this work a lot of years, and so I'm familiar with it. I have done this many, many times. And what it is it's a spiral. It's a spiral that we're constantly going up, because next year we're going to have a Scorpio new moon too, and you're going to be in the same place. But if you've done the work for this year, you will be in a different energy. You will up level. It's a natural, when we follow the moon cycles, it's a natural progression that we just move through naturally. We don't have to force it. So every month we go to another aspect of our psyche. We cover every aspect of our energy when we follow the new moons for an entire year. We cover every aspect. My thinking is that we need 2.5 years to completely reprogram ourselves if we're going to follow the moon. So what is it that you want to plant? It's literally, what do you want to get pregnant with? What are you going to get yourself all use your power for? So for me, I am really looking to anchor in a new what do I want to say? A new reality, right? And this Scorpio energy is about death and transformation. So it's literally, what is it that I'm allowing to die inside of me? And the death of that will make space for something to be born, right? So, last year I did a lot of work in transforming and healing my sexual energy, because I realized that I was carrying trauma in my nervous system and in my first and second chakra around not feeling safe and secure in the world. And because of that, then I was able to do the work to really look at where those patterns came from and how I was misusing my power. So my Scorpio energy, my Scorpio power would often be directed towards some sort of passion or desire for a partner. I would spend a lot of time. I cannot tell you how much time I spent really focusing and desiring and being obsessive about love relationships and wanting love and wanting a sexual part, because that was how I was programmed from my early childhood patterning through this experience. I've talked to you guys about it before, how my parents would have sex with one another with me in the bed with them as an infant, right? So, but being a Pisces, I'm really absorbent and really sensitive. So they weren't touching me, but the energy of their own pleasure was too strong for my very infantile system, that it overcharged me. Like, their sexual experience overshot my nervous system, and so I became addicted to pleasure that really wasn't available. Like, that was just sort of something that I was sensing in the environment, right? Because as a Pisces, those of you who are Pisces, especially Pisces rising, you can feel everything, right? So when my parents were having sex and I didn't understand what they were doing, because I was an infant, right? But I could feel the energy of what they were doing, and that short circuited my own nervous system. So in the last couple of years, I have been doing the work to heal that, because that was how my power was being misused through patterns and obsessions and desires around somebody to love me, somebody to have sex with, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm reprogramming that stuff. I did that last year. And now all that energy is free. Now the pattern shows up just a little bit. It's a tiny bit like an addiction. But now, because I've done all the work, I understand when I feel it, what it is. I'm like, oh, that's my power. Now I'm not addicted to the idea of like, oh, I need somebody to love me, or no, that's my creative power. That's my desire, because desire and power are the same thing. And it is a natural part of our human experience to be connected to desire. It is a part of the creative process. It's why the sun and the moon stay in a cycle together, because they are creating a sense, energetic of creation, life, and death. It's one thing that always is happening within us. So it's important for us to understand how our relationship to desire works before we give it away, because it is a power that you can use for anything if you understand how to use it. So now that I'm aware of like, oh, this energy is desire. It doesn't mean that I want a man, or it doesn't mean that I need a new lover. It doesn't mean I need to have sex. It means that my creative energy, my power, my I am energy is activated in my system. And then once I'm clear about that, it's like, where do I want to put it? Do I want to put it in a new relationship? Do I want to put it in a new business? Do I want to put it in exercising? do I want to help a client? How do I want it? Because this is creative power. This is creative energy. And this is how it works if we understand that we are, if it's almost like having, like a horse that hasn't been trained, that raw energy, and that energy just is like, rah, rah, rah. And then when you understand it, it's like, okay, which way do I want to train this energy in? Which way do I want to condition this energy in? And the thing that I work with inside of myself is recognizing that everything in my external reality comes from inside of me. So if it's something I desire to experience, I'm going to start doing the work to imagine, to hold the space, to create the reality for what it is that I am desiring to come into full realization, right? What is it that I'm desiring to bring into full realization? Because the energy inside of me that is raw, that is untamed, that is unconditioned, I want to then begin to condition it with what it is I want to create, and not give it to the old ways of being, the old patterns, the conditioning, the trauma, the drama that I have been giving it to. Does this make sense? So, the sun in Scorpio, we're about to have a new moon in Scorpio on when are we having the new moon in Scorpio? On the 4th. The moon is in Virgo, and the moon in Virgo is asking us to really do the work to integrate, right? So the way I'm talking to you now is how I'm integrating new patterns and so one of the things that I do is, because Virgo is in the body, right? So I'm really watching what I'm eating. I'm also drinking enough water. I'm doing dancing. I'm doing movement. I'm doing a lot of work inside of my own body so that I can embody the new energy without being taken over by old patterns, right? So it's almost like it's really a bit of a tight walk, a bit of a tightrope walk, because it requires seeing myself so clearly, and it requires solitude. And that solitude doesn't mean necessarily being alone. It just means being very present with myself so that I know what's going on with me. So, like, for instance, yesterday, someone reached out to me, and when I saw them on my phone, when I saw the name come up on my phone, I felt myself say, no, don't answer it. And I knew, and I trusted that. And then when I talked to them later, they were calling me because they were in a pickle. There was something going on with them. And if I had picked up the phone, I would have felt compelled to help them out of the situation they were in. And I'm really clear that my energy is too raw to give away to anyone else. But my old pattern would have said, they need help and you can do it. And I would have done it. But when the phone rang, I said, don't answer the phone. I could feel it because I'm listening to the energy inside of me. What is the energy? It's desire. It's power. And I'm setting an intention to direct it into a new way. In the past, I would give it to people. I would answer the phone. What do you need? What can I do? You need me for this? Of course, I got you. No, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm setting an intention for the new reality that I am birthing for myself. Okay, so let me see what Natalia says. I definitely noticed myself feeling the urge to revert back to old patterns. Exactly, and distract. Exactly. That's right. So this is a very tender time. It's like like when a baby is just born, and like those little baby chicks, if you've ever seen baby chicks being born, and they just look so vulnerable, right? So you really want to protect your own energy just by being mindful of your behaviors, mindful of your thoughts, mindful of what you're compelled to. And then if you talk out loud to yourself, ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is it that I'm wanting right now? What does this feel like? If you talk to yourself, talking to yourself can help you walk yourself through it. The energy is going to get really intense because the Scorpio is already in the dark energy. The new moon, we're going to go into the dark of the moon. It's Halloween. The veil is really thin. So, the energy is ripe is what I want to say. It's really ripe. So this is a really great time to spend time asking, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What am I here for? What's the reason for this feeling? How can I best use this energy? Live inside of that kind of curiosity. Like I've been noticing, I've been eating a lot, right? Because the food is sort of soothing me. So yesterday I was like, okay, I'm not gonna, I will eat tacos. Tacos, right? But I made a pot of pinto beans, and I make the tacos from scratch. The corn is not great for me. So as I'm eating the corn, it's blocking my system. So yesterday I had to say, okay, you're not going to eat today. You're going to just take in fluids, drink juices, and really soothe your system in another way. because I'm having to really be aware of what is going on with the new energy and my tendency to want to do something to comfort myself. And so, what are the healthier ways that you can comfort yourself? What are the ways that you can comfort yourself that won't create new addictions and new patterns that are unfavorable? So, you have to really, really, really pay attention to yourself because this energy is hot. Woo! Okay. Anyway, so Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Virgo. Start considering what your objectives are, like what's your intention for this new moon. You want to start thinking about that now if you've not started thinking about it already. I know my intention is that I am in full relationship to my inner world, to the feminine power within me, that I am fearless in my ability to activate and use it as I desire, that I am unapologetic in my truth and doing the work that I am here to do in service to myself and in service to the world. So that is that. So Natalia says, I remind myself I don't have to do anything other than just hold the new energy. That is right. That's it. All you got to do is hold it and remind yourself, because for me, I have a Gemini moon. I can just get so involved in internal conversations and dialogues, which is a way that burns up the energy, honestly. So, so I'm just noticing that I really am overthinking things and wanting to think about past things and stuff like that. And I'm just like, let it go. It's okay. It's okay to be where you are. It's okay to feel what you feel. Nothing is wrong. All is well. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. Oh, and as you do that, then what you're doing when you can just hold the energy, you're magnetizing. You become a magnet. And if you can hold the energy with love and joy, then you begin to magnetize experiences that are loving and joyful and open-hearted. But if you move into the old behavior, then you will magnetize those old experiences to you. So this is some Jedi work. It really is. But it's good Jedi work. All right, y'all. If you guys need support, if you need readings or anything like that, you can book new moon, full moon readings with me. I'd be happy to support you, to help you understand where the energy is, and then also to give you rituals that will support you and where the energy is showing up for you. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.